Greetings, viewers, subscribers, friends, and a special greeting to new subscribers. Glad to have you along with me. Here I am in Greenback on a fairly nice August day, and it's about 89 degrees, which makes it a bit warm for a ride, but I'm dressed for it today, as you will see in a few moments. I'm basically an all-gear, all-the-time guy, and sometimes the gear itself has to change a little bit to meet the conditions. And that's what I'm trying to do. I have a fairly new purchase that I'm trying out, and I'm finding that it helps quite a bit with the warm temperature. I could be in a t-shirt. A lot of the riders I'm seeing as I'm out today are dressed that way, but not me. A little time to adjust the camera here, and turns out that the rear-facing camera was not turned on. It's a pretty easy mistake to make, but I figured it was better to catch it now than after the ride was over and not collect any rear-facing video whatsoever. But anyway, be that as it may, I'm ready to go. As you notice, my chin vent isn't open. I will open it during the ride, I'm sure. But it's a funny thing, it seems like with the vent open, it doesn't seem to make a whole lot of difference in the airflow. But I have a white helmet. I think that's the right color for hot days, and it's also supposed to be quite good for being visible. You see a lot of motorcycle clothing, including helmets, that have the high visibility green, and it does stand out, but does it stand out better than white? I'm not sure. As you can see, the chin vent is now open. I'm going to have to double check after the ride to make sure that the exit vents are open also. It doesn't make much difference if you're letting air in if it has no way to get out. It's not exactly rocket science figuring that out. In any event, I'm enjoying the ride. It's been a few days since I've been out, and I hope to get out a little more frequently, especially now that the temperature is starting to get a little bit cooler. I like a day between 60 and 70 degrees best of all for riding. I'll be wearing the regular Joe Rocket jacket. Incidentally, I'm going to list down in the description various elements of my riding apparel, and of course the cameras that I'm using. I've noticed that GoPro has become kind of like Kleenex. You know, it's a specific brand name, and yet it's used so commonly that it kind of becomes what everyone calls a motion camera is a GoPro. Well, in my case, not. Or Kleenex is a facial tissue, which it may not be. Well, I get hung up on little things like this. Maybe I'm different. I don't know if I'll take an opportunity to have a little speed blast today like I did in the last video I did. I kind of double checked when I was editing that video, and it seemed like I got up to about 80, possibly 81. A little faster than I normally ride, but it sure was fun. A little blast like that kind of gets your blood going. Yep, double check, make sure that vent's open. I really need to check those exit vents to make sure that they're doing their job as they're supposed to be. Would be funny if I thought I was opening them when I was actually closing them. Couldn't possibly make a mistake like that, could I? Yes, I could. Very much so. One of the great things about getting out on a ride is that it kind of recharges your spirit. There's an awful lot of things that we haven't been doing since the COVID crisis took over. But this is something I feel comfortable doing and will continue to do until the law enforcement tells me I can't. I hope that doesn't happen, but who knows? We seem to have had quite an uptick in cases here in East Tennessee, and that's certainly something that we're taking fairly seriously. We've been taking it fairly seriously ever since we first found out about what was happening, and long before there were even very many cases in our county. I think it was just a handful in the beginning, and now there's quite a few. It's in the hundreds, and we're experiencing some people losing their lives. Not a very pleasant thing at all, but it is what it is, as some people say. You have to do what you can. Use the brain that God gave you to keep yourself safe and secure. Now we're back on a nice road that should give us a little bit more challenge, though it doesn't look like it at the moment. And this being a Sunday, August 15th, I know that sooner or later, and yes, like maybe right now, I'm going to run into a Sunday driver. Now this is a 2-lane country road. Those of you that follow me know that that's the kind of road I like to ride on. And so consequently, not having a posted speed limit, it's 55 would be a reasonable speed. And that's what I'm looking to go as we ride along. But this person in front of me apparently is in no hurry. Not that I'm in any great hurry, but this is kind of reminds me of the time when I was trying to get out of the Fort Loudon State Park, where I got behind a pickup truck that was going about 15 miles an hour, or less. And well, hey, it's a double solid line, I think, all the way along this route, and I'm just going to have to hang back and enjoy the ride, even though I would rather take it at a little more spirited pace. This guy's enjoying himself too, I suppose. It's a beautiful day. He's got his air conditioning cranked up, no doubt. Probably cooler than I am. But anyway. I was just watching a video Great Rides had put up, and apparently it was from back in March that he actually caught the video, and he was talking about his windscreen. He has the same one I do, which is the one that comes from Can-Am. It's called the Blue Ridge, although I purchased it through an aftermarket vendor and saved a few bucks. It does a real good job of keeping my upper body protected from the wind and from some bug splatters for sure, but it seems to allow the wind blast coming towards me to hit me right about helmet level, and it makes the inside of my helmet fairly loud, which is certainly something I don't appreciate much. And try as I will, I've not had much success using a microphone mounted inside the helmet. Now, there's supposedly some other ways of handling this, but I haven't really had good success with anything I've tried so far. It appears as though they haven't been around to trim the grass along the side of the road here. It's somewhere in between high grass and forest, the way it looks right now. But we'll see if that changes over the next few weeks. Could be some of the people that ordinarily do that kind of work are down sick. I know that the trimming of the green space areas around my house are it's been a little bit spotty. They normally cut it about every 4 to 6 weeks, Because, you know, people like me, when they walk their pets and the pet wants to go into the green space to do what they need to do, it's kind of feel a little bit better that maybe they won't get ticks or chiggers or anything like that if it's cut back a little bit. But be that as it may, just a casual observation. And no, this person isn't really going to speed up much at all. Incidentally, this is State Route 95. I ride on it fairly often because without the hindrance of a slow-moving driver in front of me, it can actually be for some pretty sporting riding, which of course I like to do when I can. I like to put the F3 through its paces. It's a good handling machine, seems to have plenty of power, and it's not loaded down with a lot of touring gear, nor myself. I'm actually under 150 pounds, which makes me kind of an afterthought in terms of what the machine is carrying along. I guess I'll never outgrow it, but I still love Harley Davidsons. It's very unlikely that I'll ever own one again. The basic Harley Davidson freewheeler, which is kind of the low end of the trike market in Harley land, the base price as I scoped it out when I was looking for a trike was about 10 grand more than what I have. Oh sure, I've added some things to it, but the freewheeler is kind of a blank canvas also. Doesn't come with much of anything, certainly not in the way of electronics. It doesn't have a windshield, which is fine with me, but I don't know, people that I know that have them, one in particular, talks about the heavy steering and told me that he had never been on the Dragon because it's too much of a workout, wrestling that thing through the turns. But be that as it may, I think I'm going to wrap it up right about now and just listen to the sound of the engine. Thanks for riding along with me. I sure appreciated you as being company for me. So for now, Speedster Johnny out.